Hey everybody, welcome to another recap of the amazing race. Last time on the race, Gary and Matt were eliminated. Alright, so they're in Estonia and they're going to Prague in the Czech Republic. So once they get there, they have to go to the old town square and find a guy in an old Praga. But nobody tells them what a Praga is, and they're going to have to find out that it's a vintage convertible. So at the airport, Megan and Shane were on the internet and they found out what a Praga was, and they had a plan that they were going to tell everybody that it was something else, like an old hat or something. But they never followed through with it. So, you know, I'm all for like playing your hardest, but when you start resorting to dirty tricks and everything, that's pretty uncool. So I'm glad that they didn't go through with that, because that really would have been not cool at all. So everybody's on the same flight. The airport is sometimes the great equalizer. They're all going to Riga, Latvia, and then on to Prague. So once they get to Prague, Brian and Erica heard from someone on the plane, I suppose, that the bus and the train was much quicker than taking a taxi. But they were the only ones who ended up doing that, and it took so long that they finally decided to ditch that and jump in a taxi at the end. So once they're in Prague and they go to the vintage car guy, they find out that the next clue is you have to go to Kayaky Troya. Okay, so it's a detour. It's going to be fast or slow. In the fast part, I guess you got it from the name, that they're going to be going down a kayak course, a whitewater rafting course in a kayak. And once they get to the end of it, they have to grab the clue. So it's pretty dangerous, and you need some skills with a kayak to actually be able to do it. The only two idiots that attempted to do it were Sam and Dan. Alright, slow and steady. This part of the detour is a ropes course, a high ropes course. You have to pull yourself along, and it's grueling. It starts out easy, but it gets really difficult because you're practically going vertical. So Amanda and Shane and the Globetrotters chose that right away. And like I said, the beginning was pretty easy, but then the end was tough. It really was grueling. So Flight Time finished first, and he found out that he could go down the, what do you call that thing? The stairs? I don't know. Yeah, he could do it, but only one person could go at a time, and Megan and Shane, especially Megan, was making a big stink about how long he was taking, that they wanted to go first, so that only made him take his time. Yeah, I can't blame him. Megan and Shane are really getting on my nerves. I've just about had it with them. I never really liked them to begin with. They just seem like the too perfect couple, like somebody would buy them for a present, maybe a speck of dust and a wrinkle. Brian and Erica did the ropes course, and Sam and Dan ended up switching over from the kayak thing after like 3 tries. They totally wiped out. They were not having any luck at all. And they're constantly bitching to each other, so it's very unpleasant to be the brothers. So when they get the clue, after that detour, they find out that it's Divaske Divadlo. And that is supposed to lead them to the Estates Theater. Yeah, Megan tells the Trotters that she wants to work with them. But then all of a sudden, Shane has a mind of his own and like ditches them and jumps in a taxi, which was kind of a bitch move. When you say you're going to work with somebody and then you ditch them, that's just, it's not cool. I don't like the way they're playing this leg of the race at all. The brothers also, another bitch move. They decide to steal Brian and Erica's taxi, which Brian and Erica had asked to wait. It's not cool. Cheaters never prosper. I really hope that they get bit in the behind in the end, so I'm hoping. The next clue is a roadblock, and it's at the Estates Theater. The teams, well, one out of each team has to search the seats to find a tiny mandolin. Has anybody seen the commercial for the Garmin GPS? In one of the commercials that they've been running, there's a tiny black squirrel who's playing a tiny mandolin at the end of the commercial. And that's what this mandolin that they're looking for in the theater, it looks exactly like, but it's in a case. All right, so once they find it, they have to give it to the guy who's playing Don Giovanni on the stage. And he's really a good singer too. He's got a sense of humor, because every time somebody brings the wrong one up, he's like, ho ho ho, no. So yeah, he was really good. So Shane, yeah, there was dummy instruments stashed around the theater too. He brought up like a full-size mandolin, a guitar, a violin, and the guy was just like, no. And even empty little tiny mandolin cases were stashed around the theater. No, it had to be a mandolin case with a mandolin in it. So Megan was being especially annoying during this part of the race, because she kept saying, Shane, 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 like every 5 seconds. Nobody wants to hear that. Why be a bitch like that? So once you find your tiny mandolin, you have to head over to the pit stop, which is at the Prague Castle. So unfortunately, Megan and Shane came in first, and they won a trip for 2 to Hawaii. Enjoy. Sam and Dan, they came in second. They only inched out the Globetrotters by like 1 minute. So the Globetrotters were in third. And then Brian and Erica, she took so long to find the tiny mandolin for the squirrel that Don Giovanni had to stop singing and eat a sandwich and sit down. So the good news is though, kids, and I almost wet my pants when I heard this one, it's a non-elimination leg. So Brian and Erica, thank God, will have another chance to one-up the brothers. So yeah, they're gonna have to perform a speed bump first though. But that made me so happy. I was not big Brian and Erica fans since the beginning of the race, but now they have been growing on me, and I'm behind their cause, and I want them to defeat Sam and Dan. So next time, it's Prague After Dark. And Sam and Dan continued to be bitches. You knew that was coming. Till next time, much love.